Hi, I'm Jess. I'm 26. I just want to talk a little bit about my experience with the Thrive programme. I started it, I came to it after my friend used it to cure herself of her emetophobia, and she completely changed her life. I've spent a long time feeling really unhappy, feeling really anxious in social situations, having a really difficult relationship with food, ranging from sort of binge eating, bulimia, really restricting my food intake, and just being chronically stressed about all aspects of my life. Towards the end of my last pregnancy, things got progressively worse and worse. I was so paranoid about everything that might go wrong, constantly trying to think of the worst case scenario so that I could prepare myself in case that happened, and didn't realise that actually what I was doing was just making myself stressed about things that probably wouldn't happen, alongside all of the stresses about things that were happening. I couldn't sleep. When I was sleeping, I was dreaming about things I was obsessing about in the day, and it was just out of control. The way I'd kind of previously tried to manage my emotions and things was to really excessively try and control my boundaries. So, what other people could or couldn't physically do, but that you can't control other people, you can't control those situations. So those things ended up happening. Then I'd get really upset about that. Then I'd stress and brood about what they might do in future or what might happen in the future. And all of those things were just spiralling me downwards. When my son was born, I tried to really get a grip and get back to being like a happy person by running. So I took up running, I took up yoga, and those things were really working. And then a few weeks later, I found out that my husband was cheating on me. So my marriage was over. I had a newborn and a 3-year-old. And a week later, we went into lockdown. My family lived miles and miles away from me. I was completely on my own, and I just didn't know what to do. I've never been in a worse place emotionally, and I realised I didn't want to be unhappy. I couldn't change the situation that I was in, but I could change the way that I was facing it. So I bought the Thrive book and I got a Thrive consultant, and it's changed my life. Thrive, I think, ultimately taught me that my problem has always been my thinking styles. And those were the things that were preventing me from not just coping, but enjoying my life, and how to handle the situations that life throws at you. Right at the start of the book, Rob talks about you shipped into glasses, and I definitely saw the world through shipped into glasses. So I immediately put my rose tinted glasses on, and got started. It's really empowering to know that you have control over the way that you think, the way that you face adversity, and that all of those things, you have the power to be happy. When I started Thrive, I had a shockingly low level of self-esteem. I was always either blaming other people for when I felt things weren't going right, or when things were going really well, I was attributing that success to other people as well. So I was never really internalising anything positive or negative. I just kind of thought I didn't really have anything going for me. The little challenges and the daily positive list about the things that you've achieved or the things that you've done that day that have made you happy have been massive. I think within about a week of doing it, and I really threw myself into it as well, my self-esteem had trebled. Again, it felt really empowering to know that I was actually quite a good person, that I could achieve things, that I could motivate myself. I got better at running. My children were so much happier with me around. I was such a happier person. I always had given my time to them, but I suppose I was just a bit negative, and now I was giving them my time and my happiness as well, and that's really rubbed off on them. The other challenges and things in the book have been really helpful as well. And one thing that I did when I started Thrive was I made lots of notes on every page, all the margins, every sentence that I read that really spoke to me. I kind of commented on that. And every time I've gone back through the book, or back through a chapter, back through a page, I've been able to read how I was thinking back then and see how far I've come with my own eyes, and all of that is down to me because I've done that. It's not somebody else, it's not my situation that's changed, it's the way that I've felt about it, the way that I've approached it. And I can honestly say that I am happy despite everything. At the end of the book, Rob talks about blips. I've definitely had a few of those, but the motivation to remain in a happy place when you've been unhappy for so long is huge. And with the help of my Thrive consultant, Gareth, who is so calm, so knowledgeable, and really challenges me when I need challenging, when I keep crossing my fingers, he tells me off. Because it's all about what you can achieve, and you can do that. It's really kept me on track and kept me going when things have been a bit harder or a bit more confusing. I can honestly say Thrive has given me my life back. I am really happy. I'm happier than I've been in years, despite the current situation, despite not seeing my family and all of those things. I'm such a positive person, and the world around me seems so much more positive as well. And I've finally, after about 20 years, stopped using food as a way to control my emotions, and that feels amazing too. I feel like I'm going to be a much better role model for my children, a much better teacher when I go back to work, and just a much nicer person for other people to have in their lives. And it feels really amazing to know that all of those things are down to me.